Many of you have been wondering, is there life out there? And others are sure that aliens have visited us before. But then, when people ask for proof, what do you say? Well, when people ask me, I always say, Roswell. Roswell is an exceptional argument because it's the most famous of all the UFO mysteries. It's also the most probable sighting because so many people saw it that night. Even the FBI admitted they investigated it. I'll talk about that more later though. But what makes Roswell such a convincing sighting is that there was a great effort to cover it up. When news first spread about the incident, the 509th Bomb Group identified it as a weather balloon, which according to all the townspeople of Roswell was not true. So this was clearly a cover-up, right? Now, just because someone covers something up doesn't mean that the original claim is now proven. All that it means is that the people covering it up are nervous about any information leaking out. So even if it isn't direct evidence, it's a clue nonetheless, that the Army knew about it enough not to say very much to the public at all. But there's more evidence just lying around. If you take a look at some official documents. But first, let's go back to that night on July 3rd, 1947, the night before Independence Day, coincidentally. Dan Wilmot and his wife were sitting on their porch when they saw an object, what they reported to be flying at around 400 to 500 miles per hour. And they noticed that it was 20 to 25 feet long and was traveling from the southeast to the northwest, where it disappeared. After the 4th of July weekend, William Mack Brazel, a rancher in the area, went to the sheriff to say that he might have found one of them flying saucers. And it all blew up from there for the people of Roswell. The next day, the U.S. Army was already on the scene, collecting debris and investigating the crash site. Afterwards, a press release stated that the U.S. Army had collected a crashed disc that fell from the sky. Shortly afterwards, this was changed to a weather balloon. Now, it's understandable that a weather balloon was used as a cover-up, as the materials in the famous photo of Major Jesse Marcel and the debris from the crash site look awfully similar to the weather balloons they were using on Project Mogul. However, the inconsistency lies within the U.S. Army's constant updating of the matter. Since Project Mogul was classified, it was unclear why the Army would continue to provide detailed reports when it's supposed to be a secret. It seems almost far too easy to just place the blame elsewhere. Now, even though there is only one person who had reportedly seen the UFO crash, it is confirmed that the US Army was on the scene the next day and that they had recovered an object of importance, whilst completely cleaning up the crash site of all the debris. This was 100% confirmed when news had spread shortly after, with people from all around came to Roswell to hopefully see the UFO, only to see the US Army were transporting stuff away and not permitting anyone to see the site. On top of that, many people who had worked at the 8th Air Force Base nearby and from Area 51 had already spoken up about it in great detail. In fact, a former CIA agent who recently died had spoken out about his experience with extraterrestrials at the 8th Air Force Base during his time in the CIA.
And then we had people that would follow through on it, that would go out and interview the people to see if they were nutcases or if it was real, you know.
So they'd be going overseas frequently?
Yeah, I wasn't, but I always stayed statewide. But the people we had working with us from the CIA would do that. We would get like a new report probably a couple times a week. I was coming into the Army fresh off the farm, you know, so I really didn't have much knowledge of anything, but my boss filled me in on Project Blue Book and what they had found so far as grays and aliens and the Roswell incident.
They were telling the world all UFOs are misidentifications, hoaxes,
Balloons.
Psychological issues, whatever.
Yeah, she's trying to find out something about all about these aliens that MJ-12 was supposed to find out, but never sent back reports to him.
The MJ-12, the UFO control group, were they calling it MJ-12 at that time? Yes. With your superior.
Yes.
You fly out, you land. What happens? Can you describe this whole process? What you saw?
It took us the 13 or 15 miles south to S4. Had like different garage door openings.
Okay.
And in these garage door openings, they had like different saucer crafts. The very first one had the Roswell craft in. It was kind of crashed up.
It's hard to discount what he says. Being on his deathbed, why would he lie? There are various other former military personnel who have spoken up about it. As for the Majestic 12, just like the ex-CIA agent said, it was proven as a scam for the most part. However, the fact that MJ-12 was known as a scam is questionable, because it isn't really known who originally gave out the evidence for MJ-12. However, it is likely that the government themselves decided to create Majestic 12 as a hoax to sort of debilitate from the fact that the Roswell crash happened. But of course, everyone's eyes were on Roswell, so if they started an MJ-12 conspiracy, it would be easier to shoot down, or it would be a distraction. Still very unclear as to what the Majestic 12 is, but as far as we know, the FBI has already stated that MJ-12 is bogus and it's a hoax. However, they haven't said that about the leaked documents to do with Roswell. So, that right there is key information. Now the thing is, these are mostly third-person accounts and one first-person account, but nonetheless, there is direct evidence. It comes from a website that not many people are aware of, but it is open to the public's eye. So, let's go there. Yes, the good old FBI has given us the answers that matter most. And here it is. The cherry on top of a 60-year conspiracy theory. The first page being the most credible, as it is a document written by the FBI regarding the UFO recovered in Roswell that was transported to the 8th Air Force Base. You can go read it yourself, as the links will be in the description below. But for those of you who don't want to see it themselves, I will read it for you. FBI Dallas, Director and SAC Cincinnati. Flying disc information concerning headquarters 8th Air Force Base. Telephonically advised this office that an object purporting to be a flying disc was recovered near Roswell, New Mexico, this date. The disc is hexagonal in shape and was suspended from a balloon by cable, which balloon was approximately 20 feet in diameter. Further advised that the object found resembles a high-altitude weather balloon with a radar reflector, but that telephonic conversation between their office and Wright Field had not borne out this belief. Disc and balloon being transported to Wright Field by special plane for examination. Information provided this office because C7 national interest in case, and fact that National Broadcasting Company, Associated Press, and others attempting to break story of location of disc today. Advised would request Wright Field to advise Cincinnati office results of examination. No further investigation being conducted. So this here clearly states that after the phone conversation between the 8th Air Force Base and the FBI, the belief that the UFO was a weather balloon was deemed unlikely. So, what was it then? If the FBI admits that it wasn't a weather balloon, and the ex-CIA personnel admit that it was extraterrestrials, is it safe to believe them? Should we? In my honest opinion, I say yes. These are credible individuals with proven backgrounds. Why lie about this? I mean, I have been a believer since I was 7 years old, when I first picked up this book called Greatest UFO Mysteries, or something like that, in the school library. I have been researching pretty much my entire life, and since then, I've just constantly been looking at every extraterrestrial sighting, UFO sighting, mass sightings, whatever, you name it. I have been on it and looking and researching. And now I'm 22, and I feel I can safely say this UFO mystery is highly probable. Yes, highly probable. I'm not going to say it's true. I'm a man of science, and as a man of science, I don't like to say things are 100% proven, but I always consider the evidence. This was always my favorite UFO mystery, and I hope to do more. So if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. So, keep on UFO hunting. This is the Lonely Spaceman, over and out.